All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Denonu, and with this video here, as you can tell by the plethora of images around me, we're going to be talking about Hawkeye. And I apologize for not putting out a video in probably about a month now, but I've been focusing on the gaming channel that I have and the podcast channel that I have. So we're going to be getting back to it. And with Hawkeye here, just to make this short and sweet, we're about 3 episodes in. I think it's halfway done because I think it's only 6 episodes. But I'm just going to give my opinion on the first 3 and then maybe, the other ones after they come out there. And or maybe once it wraps up, I can give my opinions on the whole thing as a whole. But um, Hawkeye, at least for me, I like it. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. It's heavily inspired by Matt Fraction's run in the comics. I'm seeing a lot of comic book stuff in it I think they had the episode where I think the last one they had the Pym arrow, the Pym particle arrow. Love that. Loved all of the quirkiness between Kate and Clint. Love the deaf girl. I think what's her name in the comic books? Echo. I knew of her character, but she was somebody who's not big in the comic books at all. I think she started with Daredevil and his stuff, and then kind of migrated over to the X-Men because I think now she's the Phoenix, or at least until they take the Phoenix away from her. But her as a character I liked in this. They say she's going to get her own show, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think that's kind of forced, but then again, she kicked ass in this, so I can't say nothing about that. What I don't like about the show is, to be honest, all the stuff you kind of have to tell. Like, I like Hawkeye. I like him doing his thing. I like Kate. She's learning to be, I guess, a hero or mentoring from Hawkeye. And I'm not a fan of like her mom, the storyline, between her and like the stepdad and her bumbling around being stupid. It's like I'm not a fan of all of that, but that's character progression. You kind of have to show that, and that's the whole point of this show. It's kind of like a passing of the torch between the old Hawkeye to the new Hawkeye, which was just like the comic books were. So I'm not mad at it. I mean, I can't, cuss it out or anything, but it's just one of those things where it's a pet peeve of mine because I hate teenage growth movie, stereotypes when it comes to all of that. Really not a fan of that whole coming of age storyline that they try to do in every movie and TV show when it involves like a teenage character. I hate it. Hate it with a passion. So I knew I wasn't going to like that going in. But honestly, this was exactly what I expected out of the show. I've been hearing a lot of people not necessarily bash the show, but just think like, oh, it sucks because it doesn't have a lot of action in it, or there's no stakes, or there's, not a whole lot of interesting things in the show. And at least for me, it's like, yeah, Marvel has a whole underlying street level type hero type thing. Like, you have all of the street level heroes like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Shang-Chi. You can't all be saving New York at every moment or second, or saving the world, of Marvel comic books every second. So with this, I was kind of going in just expecting a low key thing. I mean, even when you see the trailer, it tells you exactly what it's going to be. It's a kind of like if you want to say like a feel good Christmas type storyline type thing. That's exactly what this is. So I wasn't going into it expecting, Avengers, movie number 6. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. But it's great from what I saw. Like, I love the writing in it. The dialogue is on point. I like how they showed you where Kate got inspired by Hawkeye during the first Avengers movie. Like that too. I like how the rumors going around that they're introducing Kingpin in this. The one from the Daredevil TV show. I think they're bringing him back for this. I think he had a cameo at the end of the last episode. They didn't show his face, but people are saying it's him because they believe that's who Echo's, uncle is supposed to be in the MCU. So I think that's pretty cool. If they're using this to roll that in, a lot of people think that the Echo TV show is really Daredevil season 4. So I'm hoping that's the case because I want to see Charlie Cox come back over as Daredevil because his show kicked ass. It was my favorite of all of them, but probably besides him and the Punisher and Luke Cage. But love that. If that's what they're doing and somehow they're hiding the name of the show, with Echo, like, oh yeah, we're going to give her own show. And then at the last minute change it to Daredevil. I mean, they'd probably get flack for doing that since she's like a disabled character and she's an amputee and, she's a kick-ass character in this. So it's kind of like, I don't see them doing that publicity wise because that's just like a dumb move. But I mean, maybe they could have Daredevil in that and just have Daredevil and her be in her show. Or have, let's say, like, the show be named Echo, but like have Daredevil's name in there somewhere because they would have to put it as a subtitle or make his the primary title and her name be the subtitle or something like that. They would have to make it work some kind of way. But maybe it could be like this where it's two leads, Daredevil and Echo, get caught, in the show versus just her. So because if it was just her, then it's kind of like, to me, that's why I said before, I'm not sure how I feel about it because it would be like pandering, but then again, people like her in this, so I can't say too much. She kicked ass. She had a fight scene with Clint and she was whooping that ass. So I can't really say nothing, It's not like it's not well deserved. I just feel like they're just shoehorning her in there. Because if I remember right, she's not an amputee in the comics. She's just deaf, so. But it is what it is. Hey, get your representation where you can get it. I'm not a fan of race swapping or changing characters. I think in the comic book, she's like Native American or something. I could be wrong about that, but in this, she's more Hispanic to me. Like when I look at her, she's more Asian or Hispanic than Native American. So not a fan of that, but hey, at least she's not white going to black or black going to white. So I can't say nothing too much about that. But as far as the show, I'm liking it. I wish the bad guys were a little bit more menacing, like the whole tracksuit mafia thing. They're like bumbling idiots, but then again, that was in the source material. They were bumbling idiots in the comics. So I can't really knock this a whole lot, to be honest, unless they end it in a very dumb, stupid way. This is going to be exactly what I want out of it. I want him to make it home for Christmas. I'm gonna make a video ranting about it if he don't make it home for Christmas. I'm going to be fucking pissed. But outside of that, the show is at least okay. I'm not going into this expecting the greatest Marvel TV show ever. That's not what I'm watching Hawkeye for. Now I could think ways that this could be better. Like I wish this was Budapest, but I guess we can't have that now that Scarlett Johansson and Marvel, or not Marvel, but Disney had their little courtroom beef, so that's kind of out of the picture. But I would want Hawkeye to be that. Tell me the story of Budapest about him, getting Black Widow and, getting her to jump sides and stuff like that. I would love that over this. But then again, this was like Hawkeye's biggest, most popular storyline in the comics. So it's like, if you're making a Hawkeye show, you have to do this first, So I can't really fault it too much. But it's good. The scene in the car chase right there was damn good. Almost shot for shot of the comic. And the pin particle arrow thing was just like icing on the cake in that episode. When I seen that, I was like, oh shit. And I wasn't expecting them to do something like that. But honestly, even, after when I was watching that scene, it was like, is the arrow going to go back to normal? Because they didn't show what happened to the arrow. They just kind of left it there in the middle. I'm guessing that was like the Brooklyn Bridge or something. But so somebody had to clean that up. Guess Scott Lang's going to be pissed. But yeah, just to end this short, it's okay. I mean, it makes for a decent watch. It's not the greatest thing out there. It's not going to, change the world with how it's filmed or nothing like that. But if you're a fan of the Avengers, if you're a fan of Hawkeye in particular, if you just want to watch a an entertaining, TV show around Christmas time. It's okay. It's not as serious as I personally wanted to be, but that's because you have to tell Kate's side of the story. And like I said, I'm not a fan of a lot of that kid bullshit, but it kind of has to be there because that's the story that they're pulling from in the source material. So I'd say check it out. Worst case scenario, you don't like it. You don't have to watch it, but check it out if you're even somewhat interested. I mean, it's on Disney Plus. There's also other ways and means you could watch it too. Not going to say where, but I'm throwing it out there. That's how I usually check it out. But it's an okay watch. I'm interested to see how they're going to end it. Because if they're going to bring in Kingpin specifically, then I don't remember if Kingpin was a part of the comic books or not. I don't think he was. And neither was Echo. Like, I don't remember Echo being in this. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember her being in the comic book run either. Like, or at least she wasn't a major player of it, if she was. So I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to end it, because if they're changing up and adding characters in, then it's like, how are they going to end the story? I think the comic book run was like 20 something comic books. So they can't make that whole run into a 6-episode thing. So they're going to have to stop it somewhere at one point. They have to tell Kate's, I guess, story of her becoming Hawkeye and then having Clint make it home for Christmas and then end it right there. So I don't see this right now. This show doesn't have a major bad guy. I'm guessing that's where Kingpin's going to come in, but is he going to be like a last minute thing at the end of the episode? That seems kind of weird to me if they do it like that. So, because he's not involved in Kate's story and the reason why she's being chased and none of that stuff. He's not a part of that, at least not yet. So far, I guess if you want to pick a main villain, it's probably her stepdad, the swordsman. So I know he wasn't really a big character in comic books, not by any means. So I'm not sure what they can really do with that, since they're not building that up. It's more along, at least right now in the story, it's her and Hawkeye trying to, to stop the tracksuit mafia gang from taking out Kate. And I think they're just now getting to the point when Swordsman is probably going to jump into things. So unless he becomes like a major threat later on in the last 2 or 3 episodes, which, I mean, I don't see how you could, but then again, it all depends on what story they're trying to tell. So they could make it work. And I'm interested to see how they're going to do that. So anyways, fellas, let me just end this video here. Sorry for the long hiatus. I'm going to try to push out more content on the regular, probably, maybe not every day, but at least every couple days or maybe twice a week, something like that, just to keep the channel going and stuff like that, get some more viewership under things. And that's my whole reason for changing how things look too, just changing up the production quality of it here, just to see if we can make it a little bit better. So if you guys have any hints, comments, likes, dislikes about either what I do or even about Hawkeye, the show in particular, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.